Well, here we go. This is it. Closing out the season on picks for every game right here on the Odd Shopper channel. It's sad. You know what sucks too is like casual fans get to the playoffs and go, sweet playoff football. I get to the postseason and go, well, it means it's almost over. Like, give me the random week 11 slates any day of the week, any time over something like this, because you got more games. We got more to pick through. For a bettor like myself, it gives, and a DFS player, we just have so much more action. But you know what? We got two good games on tap. We're going to close it out, hopefully in a big way. Wrap it up with some W's before we head into the Super Bowl. Of course, we'll have a ton of content for that. But anyway, let's get it started. If you don't mind, help me feed that algorithm. If maybe this has been helpful for you in some way throughout the season, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below. It's all free to do so. Let's make it happen. Hey, Dave Loughy here on Twitter at Loughy_D, by the way. Hit me up if you haven't done so yet. We've got a couple games for championship week. Who would have thought the Washington Commanders are here? Final week before the Super Bowl, final slate of games before the Super Bowl, and the Commanders are in it. Am I surprised to see the Eagles or the Bills or the Chiefs? Of course not. But let's get into the first game. It's Commanders plus 6-point dogs in Philadelphia at the Link against the Eagles, 47.5-point total. Now, look, there's not going to be any significant weather unless we get some weird pop-up storm or whatever. It's like 40 degrees and overcast, nothing to worry about. No significant wind either. It is what it is, pretty standard. Whereas on Sunday against the Rams, a whole lot different, right? I'm looking at this game and I see a couple of things. Number one, Jalen Hurts, the guy's going to play. Is he going to be 100%? It's unlikely, but he's going to play. He was still able to roll out after the injury. They still went for the, I hate the name, but the tush push, the brotherly shove, call it whatever you want. They were still going to attempt that before Lane Johnson took that false start, backed them up. They ended up not scoring. So I think, look, does he rip off a 44-yard touchdown again? Probably not. But I think he'll be mobile enough to where this isn't a huge concern. Not to mention, like, if this were a big issue, the Eagles wouldn't be moving from 5 to 5.5 to 6, right? Which, you know, we're looking at pretty much standard 6s across the board. Unless you're trying to get a 5.5, you can, but you're going to pay extra for it. I've said this about the Rams game. I said this about the Packers game. And, you know, I hate to be a broken record, but I still think overall there's an imbalance of talent here. The one X factor is Jaden Daniels, right? I don't think anyone would argue with that. The X factor in a spot like this, in a spot like last week, we can get into Jared Goff's terrible interceptions as well, and Ben Johnson outsmarting himself, trying to have Jamison Williams throw the ball when a team with that much talent simply doesn't need to do so. But, you know, Jaden Daniels is the X factor. In the first time these teams faced each other, of course, remember, there's the divisional spot, so they've already seen each other twice this season. The first spot, the Eagles took care of business. It's a pretty easy win, right? Quinyon Mitchell, who's going to be questionable for this game, pay close attention to that because we may be able to take some overs or unders on Terry McLaurin props based on the way that shakes out. I think he'll play. But, you know, the first time, Eagles took care of business. Second time, Eagles had a massive lead until early, 21-0, 21-3 or something. Anyway, they were routing. Let's say they were up big on the Commanders early. Then Jalen Hurts takes that concussion. He's out of the game. Kenny Pickett comes in. He's fine. They would have won that game, by the way, too. Devontae Smith, if you remember, Devontae Smith dropped that pass that would have taken him down to the 10. Commanders had no timeouts left. It was under the 2-minute warning. But again, you got to credit Jaden Daniels in that game. Dude threw 5 touchdowns against a very good defense, right? They turned the ball over a ton in that game, though. And this is what it comes down to for me. All right. Now, if you wanted to tease this game, I don't think it's crazy. I'm a dumbass for going with the public teaser last week, too. I knew it was a bad idea. You know, the Chiefs got us there. Bills, easy. They won outright. I didn't think it would be the Lions. Speak of the devil, because it was against this Washington team. I didn't think it would be the Lions that would burn us on that. But here we are. I bet the Lions live, too, at plus 3.5 at halftime. And that bet lost as well. But, like, again, the Philadelphia Eagles have done a really good job in the turnover battles. Look at last week, strip sack on Matthew Stafford, big turnover. Jalen Carter punching the ball out on Kyron Williams, huge turnover. Isaiah Rodgers with the spin moves, runs it back down to the 5 or whatever it was. Rams had a chance to take that game late, but what happened? Jalen Carter's a monster. He busts through the line and he sacks Matthew Stafford, backs him up for a long fourth down. The Philadelphia Eagles defense is dominant even without Nakobe Dean, and I do expect Mitchell to play. The Eagles offense with Saquon Barkley, is fantastic. They can run it down your throat, and when Hurts needs to do things, he will. So give me the Eagles -6 here. If you wanted to tease it, I don't think it's crazy. You could tease them at 6 down to 0. It's essentially just a win. And then what I would do is I would tease the Bills up like we did last week at +2. You would get them now on pretty much any book. You would get them to +8. So outside of a touchdown. That's one way if you want to play it, go for it. Not saying you have to. It's going to be popular. Right now, give me Eagles -6 and a prop here. I'm going to go A.J. Brown over 4.5 receptions. Now, a lot of people will be like, what are you talking about, right? It's been terrible. Pass game has been stagnant, this and that. I get all of that. But I have to assume that I know how Kellen Moore and Nick Sirianni work. A lot of times, everything you expect to happen early on, the opposite happens. So, like, they'll come out and they'll throw 8 straight times to start a game. A.J. Brown said after last week, he had those 2 drops, but the snow clearly affected him, would have had a much bigger game. He's targeted a team high 7 times. He said, my knee's feeling a lot better. It may not show up in the stats, but I'm feeling a lot better. Now you got another week to go. I like this. You're getting it at even money over on Bet365 and FanDuel. Even money there. So that's a spot I'm looking to hit here. I think you get a bounce back from A.J. Brown in this spot. And of course, if you're not on Bet365 yet, where the best odds are there, same with the second prop I'm going to touch on, better than any of the other spots. I know how Kellen Moore times, if you're in any of the states, use the link in the description or the pinned comment. Just get $150 in bonus bets instantly after your first bet settles. Here's the few steps. Click the link, deposit $10. It takes a minute to instantly verify your account, and then bet 5 on whatever it is you want. Even if it's a live in-game spot on the early game, you get those funds, those bonus bets. For the second game, use them on whatever. But it's 150 bonus bets you didn't have before. 21 years or older to gamble. Gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, second game here. Bills and the Chiefs. Bills are 2-point dogs in Arrowhead, 47.5-point total. Would you look at this? Once again, Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. You know, maybe I'm just a sucker here, but I feel like Allen's going to break through. Tell me, are you guys on the other side of this one? You see, like, you know what? The referees are going to make sure that the Chiefs get there, this and that. Look, some of it has been crazy. And Patrick Mahomes, you can't be allowed to just run and bait defenders running full speed into hitting you in the head. There's got to be some type of, I've been saying this for weeks now on this channel, like there's got to be something there where you can't just bait guys into that. Because like, what do you expect them to pull up, come in full speed? And this isn't even an indictment on Mahomes. You do what works. I don't blame him. I blame the rules and the refs. But I still like Josh Allen, man. I'm a sucker, maybe. I don't know, because he hasn't broke through yet against this Chiefs team. Who has? The Bengals? That's the only one, right? I still like it. You could tease it up, like I said, outside of a touchdown. It's not crazy. I think it'd be wild if this game wasn't competitive. Steve Spagnuolo's defense is excellent. Obviously, Andy Reid's a great coach. They have a bevy of weapons in Kelsey and, you know, a rapidly emerging Xavier Worthy. And who knows what's going on with DeAndre Hopkins. I was hoping his receptions prop would be 3.5, but it's a 2.5. We don't know what's going on. Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco, they don't have a strong run game. I'll bank on Josh Allen willing this Bills team to win. I don't want to say it's a gut feel either. But it's also one of these games where, like, you guys know this, Chiefs, Bills, you're going to get a really close spread. You're not going to have a significant edge here. I think this might just be the year that Josh Allen breaks through. This guy finds ways to win games in and out all the time. Give me Josh Allen +2. Maybe not the best reasoning for you guys. I don't know what you want me to tell you. These are 2 super evenly matched teams. If your answer is just like, no, Patrick Mahomes always wins this game, then you know what? Maybe that's a decent answer. But I don't know what else to tell you. I do have a prop here. Xavier Worthy over 47.5 receiving yards. This is 49.5 everywhere, or it's juiced at 48.5. Pretty heavy. Bet365's got it at -110. I'm all about it. Look, this is the only like legitimate full-time receiver right now. Brown played around 60% of snaps, ran a route on around 60% of dropbacks. Watson, Hopkins played 13 snaps or ran 13 routes on 16 snaps in the whole game last time out. But Xavier Worthy keeps getting targeted. I mean, outside of Travis Kelce, this is the #1 option in the offense. And I just think in a game like this, where you're not going to have the luxury of kind of sitting back, dink and dunking like you would against Houston, whose offense couldn't get anything going, generate anything throughout the game. The Buffalo Bills can move the football. They can score. And if that happens to be the case, I think Xavier Worthy continues to get those opportunities. He's on the field a lot. He's the only legitimate full-time guy right now. And by full-time, I mean out there 80+% of every offensive play. I got to tell you, that's a spot that I definitely like. So there you have it. And as always, guys, if you ever want to join over at PortfolioEV with OddsShopper, look, we have fun here. We have a good time. But where we really make our money is using that market-based approach, top-down approach. I place 100+ bets from my phone every single day, 20 at a time with the mass entry tool. I've made really solid money doing this. This is just December alone. Is it going to make me rich? Am I going to retire by next year? No, but this takes me less than 20 minutes a day to do so. If you want to learn about it, if you want to jump in, claim a free trial down there. First week, 100% free, no strings attached. Hit me up. My DMs are always open on Twitter. I'm happy to answer any questions in the comments. Join the Discord. We'll get you going right away, and you'll start making money just like anyone else who's been using this tool. Free week, 100%. Claim it down below. Until next time, I'll see you guys back here for the Super Bowl. Peace.